And here we are ready to start our regular pattern rows. From here on in, we will be working in the back loop only. This will give a very nice drape and very slight stripy effect to the fabric. If you're not sure which is the back loop, when you're looking at the work, turn it towards you and you'll see that each stitch looks like a little V. The back loop is always the one away from you. The front loop is the one that's towards you. The back loop is the one away. To start our next row, we're going to chain 2, yarn over, insert hook into the back loop of that bottom chain, pull up a loop. Now we want to skip a stitch and insert hook into the back loop of the next stitch, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through all the loops on the hook. We're ready to start the next cluster. Chain 1, yarn over, insert hook back into that same stitch that you just used, pull up a loop, skip a stitch, insert hook into the next stitch, back loop only, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through all the loops on the hook. And do this all the way around. Don't forget to skip a stitch in between. And before you know it, you will have your first pattern stitch round done. And here I am coming up to the end of my first pattern row. When you get to the very last cluster on the regular pattern row, oh, a little hair in the work there, you will omit the last skip stitch. You'll see that you only have one stitch left. So for that last cluster, chain 1, pull up a loop in the same stitch, insert hook into back loop of the next stitch, which is actually the joining slip stitch from the previous round, pull up your loop, chain 1, pull through all the loops on the hook, and join to the top of the first cluster through both strands. Always join through both strands with a slip stitch, and you're ready to start the next round. One thing I forgot to mention in the video was that when you're skipping over a stitch, the stitch that you're skipping is always the chain 1 from the previous row, and the stitches that you work into are always the cluster stitches from the previous row.